For much of our lives, we're taught that together is always better. That companionship is the prize. That being alone must mean being lonely. But that's not the full story, especially after 70. Aging alone is often viewed with concern. People worry you'll feel isolated, that you'll be forgotten, that your days will feel empty. But here's the truth many won't say out loud. There's a surprising freedom in aging alone. A peace that comes when your days are your own. A joy in waking up with no one else's expectations to manage. You learn to love the quiet, to sit with yourself and feel content, to hear your own thoughts without interruption, to move through your home at your own rhythm. No compromise, no constant adjusting, no walking on eggshells. Just you and the version of life you've designed with your own hands. Aging alone allows you to reclaim space, both physical and emotional. You no longer shrink to make room for someone else's comfort. You expand into every corner of your life. You eat when you're hungry. You rest when you're tired. You go where you want or nowhere at all. And all of it is enough. There's a kind of self-trust that builds when you're your own company. You become your own counselor, cheerleader, and guide. You make decisions with confidence because no one else has the final say. You've already spent years caring for others, raising children, supporting spouses, carving out your life around other people's needs. But now is your time to care for you, to discover who you are when no one is asking anything of you. Solitude becomes sacred. You find your morning routine. You rediscover hobbies. You have long conversations with yourself, and they're honest. You're no longer afraid of silence. You welcome it, because in that stillness, you finally hear your truth. And what you hear is this: you're strong. You're whole. You are not alone just because you are living solo. The world often doesn't understand this kind of freedom. They look at your life and ask, "Don't you get lonely?" But they don't realize you've found a deeper kind of companionship, the one that begins inside. There are no arguments, no emotional tug-of-war, no need to explain yourself over and over, just presence and peace. You start to notice beauty more easily, the sun on your skin, the way your tea tastes just right, the joy of reading without interruption. You don't have to explain your day to anyone. You don't have to defend your choices. You just live, simply, fully, freely. Aging alone also gives you the gift of clarity. You begin to see which relationships were nourishing and which were draining. You learn that it's better to be alone than to be misunderstood. Better to have your own peace than to constantly manage someone else's emotions. You no longer fill space with people just to avoid silence. You choose who gets your time. You choose who gets your energy. And that choice is yours. Every day, you develop a rhythm that works for you. You eat what you love. You decorate how you want. You watch the shows that make you laugh. You light candles for no one's approval but your own. And in that rhythm, something beautiful happens. You begin to heal. You begin to breathe. You begin to remember yourself, not the version you had to be, but the version you are now. Aging alone teaches you emotional independence. You stop waiting for someone to check on you. You check on yourself. You stop seeking validation from others. You validate your own choices. You learn how to cheer for yourself out loud. To say, "Well done," when you finish a task. To pat your own back for making it through tough days. To remind yourself that you are enough, as is. There is also practical freedom in aging alone. You manage your own space. You set your own schedule. You don't have to justify your daily choices. You spend money how you choose, on what brings you joy or comfort or growth. There is no guilt when you sleep in. No apology when you cancel plans. No tension over how the day is spent. You have reclaimed your time, and with it, your peace. You become more creative, more resourceful. You learn new skills because no one else is doing it for you, and that builds confidence. You cook for one, and find it joyful. You plan outings solo, and they're meaningful. You fix the leaky faucet or hire the right person and feel empowered. You keep growing, not because someone is watching, but because you deserve to. Aging alone brings a deep sense of personal pride. You feel proud of the life you've built, proud of the peace you've protected, proud of the quiet strength that carries you forward. You become more attuned to your intuition. You trust your gut. You listen to your body. You say no without guilt. And yes, without overthinking. You begin to realize that you are your own home. Your presence is enough. Your soul is whole. And you don't need another person to complete what was never broken. You also make space for connection, but on your terms. You reach out when you want to, not from obligation. You form friendships rooted in mutual respect, not dependency. You love with openness, not desperation. Because now you know how to be with yourself. And that makes you powerful. That makes you peaceful. That makes you free. Aging alone also creates room for self-discovery. You begin to ask yourself different questions. What do I love now? What have I outgrown? What kind of legacy do I want to leave? You're not trying to impress anyone. You're not living for someone else's approval. You're living for truth, for joy, for authenticity. There is a softness that comes from not rushing. You no longer feel the need to be everything to everyone. You stop measuring your life against others. You let go of comparison and embrace contentment. You find that solitude sharpens your appreciation. You value the simple pleasures. A sunny morning, a handwritten note, a perfectly ripe fruit. These things aren't small, they're real. They ground you. They remind you that happiness doesn't have to be loud. It just has to be true. Aging alone also deepens your gratitude. You start to say thank you more often. Thank you to your body. Thank you to the home you've created. Thank you to the lessons that shaped you. You stop rushing through your days. You slow down long enough to taste them, to hold them, to truly live them. You're not trying to escape your life anymore. You're settling into it, not in resignation, but in reverence. You realize your life is worthy just as it is. There's no pressure to perform, no need to entertain. You do things because they feel right, not because they check a box. You may not have a partner in your home, but you are not alone. You are surrounded by memories, by reflections, by the quiet strength of your own resilience. You can open your door to others when you choose, but you are no longer afraid to close it when you need rest. Aging alone strips away the noise. What's left is real. What's left is enough. What's left is you, whole, present, and powerful. There's also freedom in rewriting your story. Aging alone gives you space to do that. You're not locked into an identity. You're not stuck in the role others gave you. You can be soft and strong, quiet and bold, private and powerful. There is no contradiction in who you are. You wake up each morning and ask, what do I want a day to feel like? And then you create it. With your thoughts, with your choices, with your grace. You may live alone, but you're deeply connected to yourself. That connection is a compass. It keeps you steady in uncertain times. You can walk into a room and feel no need to be seen. You've already seen yourself, and that is enough. You no longer chase closeness. You attract it because you are grounded. You set your own standards. You love yourself in ways you once waited for others to do. You no longer seek rescue. You've become your own safety. The surprising freedom of aging alone is this. You learn how to belong to yourself. Fully. Without apology. Without shame. You find meaning in your solitude. You write your thoughts. You talk to the stars. You dance in your kitchen. You light candles at night just to honor the end of a good day. You're not lonely. You're aligned. You're not waiting. You're living. You begin to create new memories, new routines, new ways of being. Your days are not empty. They're spacious, ready to be filled with what matters. You know what peace feels like now, and you protect it like a sacred flame. You no longer tolerate chaos. You no longer chase storms. You rest in your stillness. You age on your own terms. And those terms are beautiful. They are honest. They are brave. They are whole. You've become your own home, your own best friend, your own source of joy. And the world may not always understand that. But that's okay. Because you do. You understand. You accept. You celebrate. Aging alone is not a failure. It is a freedom. And you, standing strong in your quiet power, are the living proof.